Hello Algebra 2 class, this is Mr. AC. Today we're going to be going over a little bit of what we learned today in class, which was going over the distributive property. Basically the idea is like this. I'm going to go over something really simple, okay? If you have something like 4 times x plus 1, we need to expand that out. Actually, I'm going to write that a little bit bigger just because I have the space and it's just a quick example. So we have 4 times x plus 1. We want to expand that out, and it's something that some of you are familiar with. I remember some of your classes called the rainbow method, but you're using the distributive property, and it's at this number 4, so the number 4 needs to multiply everything inside. So the way we kind of do this is we're going to go ahead and we do this number goes here and multiply. So we have 4 is going to multiply with x, so we're going to get 4 times x, then we're going to do plus. Okay, and now we're going to take the 4 and we're going to multiply it by 1. So we get 4 times 1. 4 times x is 4x. Okay, and then we got plus 4 times 1 is just 4. So this is my expanded out polynomial using the distributive property. Okay, so let us go ahead and use something that's going to be maybe a little bit more challenging. Okay, so let us go ahead and do something like this right here. Let me see. Okay, this one's perfect. So let's go ahead and do I'm thinking about, we have something like this. We have 3x minus 1 times 8x plus 7. Okay, so we have 3x minus 1 times 8x plus 7. And what we need to do, just like the previous example, is something very similar. What we want to do is we want to get every number in here to multiply with every number in here. We want this number to multiply with these two, and we want that number to multiply with these two. Essentially, we're trying to cover all our grounds. We're trying to multiply all the numbers together. These numbers here should multiply with all these numbers here. So the way that we go about that is we're going to multiply the 3x with the 8x first. So we're going to have 3x times 8x. So I'm just going to write that as 3x times 8x, okay, plus, actually, let me go ahead and just put it a little bit to the left. So we're going to have 3x times 8x, okay, like that, 3x times 8x, and now we're going to take this 3x and now we're going to multiply this with the 7. So we're going to have plus 3x times 7, okay. So we took this number and we multiplied it with 8x, and then we took this number, which is 3x, and multiplied it with 7. That's where we got this. So once we did it with this number, finally has multiplied everything inside here. Now we're going to take the next number and we're going to multiply that with everything inside here, kind of doing the same thing. So we're going to take this negative 1 and multiply it with 8x. So we're going to get plus negative 1 times 8x. Now we take this negative 1 and multiply it with 7. So we're going to get plus negative 1 times 7. Okay. So 3x times 8x. Okay, so we took our 3x, multiplied it with 8x. That's right there. Now we have 3x is going to multiply with 7. So we get 3x times 7. Now we're going to take this negative 1, this minus 1. Minus 1 times 8x is right there. Minus 1 times 8x. We have minus 1 times 7. Okay. Now we're just going to simplify this down a little bit. So the one thing that we can do to simplify this down a bit is we can go ahead and start simplifying our answer, our solutions that we have here. And one way to do that is we are going to notice, okay, 3 times 8 is 24, but we have x times x, right? So we have 24 times x, well, that's x squared. So we have 3 times 8 is 24, and two x's are being multiplied there. So remember, x times x is equal to x squared. So we have 3 times 8, which is 24, x times x, which is x squared. Like that. Okay, we took care of this one here by right there. Plus, okay, well, 3 times 7 is 21, so 27 times x. So we have 3 times 7 is 21. Yeah, 3 times 7 is 21 times x. Okay, that kind of takes care of this. We simplified that down. -1 times 8 is -8 times x. So we have -8x. So we're just going to do minus 8x. Okay, that takes care of this here. And then we have -1, so we have plus -1 times 7. Well, what's -1 times 7? That's -7. So we're just going to do -7. Okay. Finally, at this point, we're almost done. We just need to even simplify further. So right now we have 24x squared. This is the only term. This is the only term that has the x squared. Okay, so we can't simplify. We cannot combine it and add other numbers to it. So we can just write down 24x squared. Okay. Here we have 21x minus 8x. Do you see how these two numbers right here are very similar to each other? They are like terms. Both numbers are being multiplied by an x. Over here, 24 was being multiplied by x squared. Because it's x squared, there's no other terms that we can simplify that with. But here we have 21x minus 8x. So we have 21x minus 8x. So 21x minus 8x is 13x. So we can simplify that down and finally say that this is 13x. And now we have this minus 7. So there's no other number to add or subtract to it to simplify it. So we just do minus 7. And this, is my simplified polynomial using a distributive property.